Good evening, everybody. A bit wonky. Hold on, let's be a bit not wonky. There we are, not wonky. Lovely to see you all here. Thank you very much for joining me. As Pete said, it's much nicer to be inside than it is outside on a cold winter's night, but spring is just round the corner, and of that I am very, very pleased. I'm particularly pleased to see Kaz with us today, because I know she's only just come out of hospital. So welcome back, Kaz. We missed you. Hope you're all okay now, or getting okay anyway. And I have got a brand new die to show you today, which is called the Botanical Birthday. It's a set of 3 dies, and it's a bit different from what I have been doing. And moving forward, I've got some other exciting things all in the pipeline to show you, but this is the first of one of being a bit different. So hopefully you will like it. I'm also incorporating it with the In Full Bloom Deco Large sheets, which I have been doing for the last two other times, just because they fit in so well. I mean, why change it if it really fits in well? And I'm sure that many of you will be having yours dropped through your door any day if you haven't already got them. So I will be incorporating that, but I'm going to actually be making 2 cards with the new die set today. And I will be telling about this exciting bit of news here. I should have had that in bold and red and huge, because I've got some new technique workshops coming, and I will tell you a little sneak peek about that, and then I will put that so that you can see when the next one is. So the next YouTube live is Wednesday the 12th of February at 6 p.m, which is not too long away anyway. If you are tempted by any of the things that we've got today, this is where you will find them: Maximumcrafts with an S.com. Okay, so let's make a start, and let me show you what the die set is. So here is the die set in all its glory, and it's called, as I said, the Botanical Birthdays. It's a set of 3 dies. So you've got this huge one, which is the outer one. So it's got an outer cutting edge, but it hasn't got an inner cutting edge. We've done that separately so that you can layer it up nicely. So you've got a plain square in the center, and then I know that's backwards, but you're actually looking at it sort of, that's the only way it's going to stay stuck on there, really. That says happy birthday. And I just thought it would be a really nice, very quick and easy one, but something that you could go to town on as well. And that's what I like to do with my dies, is make something quick and simple that we can use, and everyone says, oh, that's lovely, really love that. And also, gosh, that's very intricate and all that sort of thing. So I'm going to show you one, well, both very simple, but one with a slightly different twist to it. So let's do the very simple one first. And I have already cut out the elements because I just wanted to show you how simple they can be. So pop that to one side. So to start off with, I've taken the outer die only, and that is what it will cut. So you've got the outer piece, which measures 14 centimeters. So that's about 5.5 inches. And then this piece, as I said, will not cut out, but you can cut it out if you just inserted, let's just bring that in. If you just inserted that die in the center, that would give you an aperture in the middle as well. So there's lots of different ways that you can use this. Or alternatively, you can cut yourself, and in this case I've used this die and cut out a piece of satin gold card, and I've cut that out separately. It gives a really nice little beveled edge. I don't know if you can see that. So it gives a nice little beveled edge, so it's a nice finish to it. And then that can sit into the center like that. So you can either make that as an aperture by cutting the 2 dies, the outer one and that one in the center, or you can then cut that out separately and use that to make a completely separate square in the center. Now, what I've done is I've teamed this. So I've got black card here, satin mirror card there. I'm going to go with a 7x7 card for the first one. My second one will be a 6x6. And because I was going to say this is a more masculine one, but not necessarily. This is class, and we like class. It looks fabulous just like that, I think, but that's really good. But what I want to use is some pearl card, which is called Antique Gold, because when I pop that onto there, I think that looks rather classy as well. So we're going along the classy theme here. So if you recall, I said that the measurements for this was 14 centimetres. So I've cut out the gold piece, the antique gold, and I've cut that to 15 centimetres. So I wanted a little bit of a wider border all the way around. So that one's 15 centimetres. But I've also cut out a piece which is 15.5 centimetres. And tuck that in behind it all so that it all matches together. Do you know, I can remember some wallpaper like that. Anyway, it's not designed about wallpaper. So let me just put some of these elements together. So going to, first of all, pop my antique gold straight down onto my black. And as you can see, there was only 0.5 centimetre bigger all the way around. So it gives it a small border, which I think is quite nice. Sorry, crash bang wallop. So let's put that together. The Antique Gold is one of the Creative Expressions Pearl Foundation cards. And unfortunately, that is no longer available, which is really sad because I loved the pearl. Well, all of the foundation card was such good quality, but now Creative Expressions is no longer, apart from, well, I think they're still going a little bit. I don't know, to be honest. I'm not quite sure. I was told that it was at the end of January that they were finishing, but it doesn't appear to be quite like that. So I don't know. But I do know that I haven't been able to get any of the pearl card for a long time. So I've now got my beautiful botanical birthdays, and I'm just going to bash the whole place in, but I'm just going to put some of this. Now, if you've got spray glue, this is a perfect time to use it because it's rather an intricate die. There's lots of pieces on it. Just to put a few little bits and pieces there. And it just is so simple. All you've got to do is cut that out, pop it on, and it's done. Now, I have noticed, let me just put that back. I have noticed that there's a couple of little bits that I didn't cut, that I haven't poked through. So I do want to just poke those through and then turn it over. And I'm going to pop that into the centre of my antique gold. Just hold that down a second. I'm glad you like it. That's good. Very pretty. Now I'm going to have to put some foam on this, but you don't need to. But I just can't. I can't look at it and not put a foam. So I'm going to put some foam onto the back here. I'm just going to use 2mm foam, but you don't need to. And as I said, it's on a 7x7 card. I'm using it as a top folder, so that the fold is at the top, so that it will stand up like that. But you don't need to. It's easy on a side one as well, and not with all these layers like I'm doing. You couldn't use that on a 6x6, but you'll see the 6x6 very shortly as well. So pop that onto the centre of my card piece. Then I'm going to take another bit of foam. I'm going to put that on the back of my satin gold. So this is my centre. And that obviously is going to go in the centre. Bring that in. And then that fits into there like that. And then I've cut out my happy birthday, which is going to go into the centre just like that. So it couldn't be more simple. if you want it to be. But I'm going to do it a little bit more involved in just a second. So the birthday die here, I think, is a really good, obviously it's not a script font, it's more of a chunky font. And so I think it's going to be ideal to pop into a lot of younger people's cards maybe, or something like that. But it does fit nicely into that square. And because that square is separate, you can actually have the square with the birthday mounted on the top as a sentiment. So you could pop that onto any of your cards. And there you go. So no matter what colorway you do it, it can always look so very, very different. But I thought I'd like to do the classy black and gold so that you can see what it really looks like to start off with. So yeah, I think that looks rather gorgeous. Now that's a 7x7. Okay, so now I'm going to go for a 6x6 card base, but this is going to be quite different. So let's get a little bit arty. So I'm going to take, first of all, a piece of white card, and I've got myself a couple of green inks. So I've got myself a distress ink in bundled sage, and I've also got a Simon Hurley dye ink as well, and that is called Overzealous. Now, you can use any combination that you like. It should be an ink that is ideal for blending, and some ink pads will not be like that. So do be a bit careful. However, I'm not really going to blend it that much. So I'm just going to be, if you can take one of your pads and pull it down a page, you can do this without any trouble at all. Now, I've chosen those two colours because they seem to work quite well together, but any colours of green, or for that matter, if you want to do it in a different colour, any two shades of a similar sort of colour. So if you wanted to do it in a pinky colour or a red or an orange or a brown, two different colours, two different shades of the same spectrum. And all I'm going to do is, this one, I have to say, I have had for, well, as soon as that came out, which has got to be about, I don't know, 8 years, maybe even more. And so it is getting to the end of its days, to be honest. And I need to make sure that I'm covering an area that my dye will go onto. But I'm going to hold it quite flat. You can see there's not a great deal of depth to it. And I'm just going to go round in circles so that I'm covering the whole of that area. Okay, now you can see where I went like that. You can't see that there, but that's fine. That's fine. So I'm just going to rub that around. Then I'm going to take Overzealous, and this one's quite a lot of a brighter green. And I'm going to go over it again. And again, you can see the lines, and that's absolutely fine. Okay. I'm going to let that dry just for a second. Just a little bit. And then I'm going to go back over with my sage. So I'm going to try and get to the corners of that as well. So all I'm doing is I'm rubbing the ink pad over there. Now, if mine was a newer ink pad, it might give me a bit more colour, but hey ho. So that's the two colours that I've used, but you can use any two greens. Then I'm going to take my largest die and I'm going to tape that into place. And I'm looking, if I possibly can, as I said, so that I've got all of the area is covered. Okay. Now, let's just tape that down into place. And I'm just going to run that through my machine. Oh, the ink's so wet. Bear with me a minute. just run that through. Now, I have also run it through on an ordinary green piece. So this is just a piece of olive green, I think it's called. So that's just cut out ordinarily. So of course you could use it like that. But I think that this one gives a really different sort of finish. So we'll have a look with those two together in a minute. Let's take the tape off. Take the worst of it out. And then just release that at the top. And pop that to one side. Let me just scoop these little bits up. Hold on a second, because we don't want them all over the place. That's better. So now you can see, hopefully you can see. Can you see it better if I lie it down there? Let's lie it onto there so that you can see it a bit better. You can see that the combination of that one and that one is that there's a lot more movement going on in this one. It's a lot more of a mottled effect, and it gives a really pretty design to it. Now, if you find that when you take it out that you've got too much of your white card showing through, I'll just tell you a simple way. I just want to take all the bits out. Hold on. Then you can simply take your ink that you were using and a blender brush and just ink round the edges. Now this is going to be a scrap bit now, because, and then we watch me do it wrong again in a minute. So this is the bundled sage. I'm going to pick it up with my ink there, and I'm just going to come in around the edges so I can be sure that the very outer pieces haven't got any white on. If I have got whiter pieces in the center, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. We don't mind. And it just gives a really different look to it, sort of that sort of more natural rather than a solid color. And more of the botanical bit. You can, I don't know if you can see that, but that bit there is quite a bit whiter. So I just want to blend that all in. But no leaves are the same sort of colour, are they? So whilst I'm just going all around the edges here, let me tell you a little bit more about some new technique workshops. So as most of you will know, I do online Zoom workshops once a month with a group of folks who are joining me in a couple of weeks' time, which is great. Can't wait to work with what we're doing there, which is with the new heart frames. I did have quite a few people saying were the heart frames going to be available other than the workshop, and I'm afraid they're not. They're just a workshop exclusive. So that isn't always the case, but it is in this particular one. And but last year I did some special workshops, and this year I'm going to do them again. Dates are yet to be confirmed. I'm trying to sort of still organise my dad and bits and pieces, but I'm excited to tell you that we've got some really brilliant, well, I think they are, workshops planned for you, and they are technique workshops. So they're not always going to be that we make a card or a paper project at the end of it. They're going to be working on various different techniques. And one of them is going to be colouring with different mediums. And that one, I say one of them, a set of them is going to be doing that. So I'm really looking forward to that. So watch out if you're interested in honing up a little bit on your colouring ideas. It's a pretty good one to be looking out for. So that's open to everybody. Although I say that, numbers are going to be restricted because two things. One is I want it to be so that everyone's got a real good chance of having a chat. And the other is that it's just the stock and demand of trying to get the right stuff because I don't want to, you don't want to have any old thing. You want the best, and that's what we're going to go for. So let me take that out of the way. Now, let me bring in my 6x6 card blank. So as I said, 6x6. So then when we fit our card, our botanical birthdays onto that, absolutely perfect. Now for this one, I'm going a bit rogue because I'm not going to use the happy birthday. Neither am I going to use the square in the centre. I'm purely using this as a frame, and I do hope that you can see that it's sort of like a mottled effect because it looks so attractive. So just going to add some glue to that. And pop that straight onto my card front. So I've not got any bases, no mats and layers on this one, just simply this piece, which still feels a little bit damp in all honesty, because there's quite a lot of ink loaded onto there. So it might be in your own house, in your own time, more beneficial to not actually put it straight down, but hey ho, we will. So I'm not putting it on everywhere, but again, if you had some spray glue, it would be a perfect one to use it for. But I'm going to pop it down on as much as I can. Now this would also look beautiful if you were to get, if you have the mini flower plate from last year. I think there's still some left of those actually. If you were to have that mini flower plate, you could cut out with one go, I think it's 20 different flowers of all different sizes, and they would look so pretty on here, just little individual ones dotted around. So that's another use for it as well. So you could get your happy birthday, etc., etc. So I haven't got my square on there. I've just gone for that. So that's just cut out with the satin gold. So I could go for that. However, now this is almost kind of cheating because I'm going to completely cover that. Because what about that on the top? Now, I know that is cheating, because I was never a very good cheat when it came to things like this. I would always want to be doing my own flowers and my own stamping, and I still love doing all of that sort of thing. But if you have got to get a quick card, I haven't even done any decoupage on there, but doesn't that look stunning? Just that. However, I'm not even going to use that one, because in the same kit were the daffodils, and I think they look beautiful on there. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to pop a bit of foam onto the back of the daffodils. So if someone was to say, oh gosh, have you got a quick get well soon card or a quick, I don't know what card, and you think, oh, no, I haven't. You grab that, grab yourself a decoupage sheet or a picture, a photograph or anything like that. Pop that into the centre. And this is actually from the backing sheets. So this isn't the decoupage bit. So if you recall, if you've got any of these, you get a decoupage sheet, you get an insert sheet, and you also get the base layer, I think they call it. And let's call it a base layer because I can't remember. And that is from here. So I've got a top fold. I made it into a top folding card. The fold is at the top. I'm just going to pop that in there. And I think that the colours that I've chosen for my greens here fit in really, really well with the colours that are on that. And then included on your base sheet, there is some sentiments. So I'm just going to pop that on there because I just think that's all that needs. And again, if you wanted to, you could put decoupage on there. Let's put that. Oh, trying to get it straight. Just onto there like that. So 2 very, very different, but yet mighty achievable. So what we've got again, just to remind you, is the Botanical Birthdays die set. This is that. So that's how it comes, with the outer piece, which is 14 centimetres by 14 centimetres. Then you've got an inner square, that little one here, an inner square, and then you've got the happy birthday bit in the centre. The outer piece cuts the outside line, but the inner piece does not cut. So you can cut that separately, or you can use that with the aperture, making it sort of more like a frame, or you can cut, like I have done there, the square completely separately. Then you've got your happy birthday, and again, both of those elements, the square and the happy birthday, together or separate, can make another completely different look. So you could add that sentiment to any card that you like. So just to recap on this one, I've used a layer of black card, and I cut that one to 15.5 centimetres by 15.5 centimetres. Then the antique gold, which is 15 by 15 centimetres. Then the black again for my botanical birthdays, a piece of satin gold for the square, and some more black for the sentiment on that one. Classy, we like. And then, oh, and a 7 by 7 card. And then gone over to this completely different one, which that looks nice with a little black background too, doesn't it? Look at that. It's just sort of picked that up, hasn't it? But I digress. 6 by 6 one, this one. And we've got 6 by 6 card. Then we've cut out the die purely just like that, but I've inked up the piece of paper first. So I've taken a white piece of ordinary card, nothing special. It wasn't super smooth. It's just ordinary white card. I didn't use the textured card because I wanted to get down colour. I didn't want it to have too much white. And I've used 2 colours of the same spectrum. They happen to be different makes, but that's irrelevant. Happen to be Bundled Sage and Overzealous, but that was the 2 greens that I used. And I've just simply wiped them over the surface, then cut that out. And I just went round the edges just to make sure that there was plenty of colour on that very outside edge. And then I've taken one of my toppers, but it's actually the base card of my In Full Bloom with the beautiful daffodils, and it says "Here's to New Beginnings" on there, which I've taken from the set as well. So there you go, 2 different cards, same die though. The light's shining awkwardly on that one. So see if that looks any better. Oh, that looks better, doesn't it? Let's get them out of the way so that you can see them. So there's our 2 cards for the day today. So 2 very different cards. And if you like what you see, do pop over to the website, which is maximumcrafts.com, where you can get yourself some, well, a bit of everything, actually. It's all there. So, yeah. Well, it was last time I looked anyway. I will be back. Oh, if you did like what you see, some thumbs up would be absolutely excellent. I will be back on Wednesday, as I said. Wednesday, which, what did we say the date was? The 12th of February. And I'll be here at 6 o'clock. Just some more different things coming up, working with some of the old things. That's what I thought we would do this time, because we are very, very excited for next weekend as well. Ooh. Are you excited? Should be excited. I'm excited. And you will be. I can assure you of that. You will be. But anyway, we'll wait for that one, won't we? Thanks, June. Instructions she's going to do for us tomorrow. That is fantastic. Thank you so much. So I will pop them up onto the Facebook group as soon as she's done them, which will be superhumanly quick, because I'm sure she will do those for us. Thank you very much. Have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you all on Wednesday, or if not, next Sunday. So take care till then. Thank you very much. Bye.